Howdy, howdy, this is Cryptic Granny back again with an arena cutoff video for Marvel Contest of Champions. Today I cover round 1 results as well as get into round 2 predictions for the Recollector Crystal and Civil Warrior arenas. So first we'll take a look at the round 1 results. So the Recollected Crystal for the 4-star feature side anyway came in a little bit higher than I expected. Well, to be honest with you, it was hard to really kind of figure out where exactly this was going to go as it kind of doesn't there isn't really a lot of previous arenas like it. But anyway, it came in at 3.2 million, which is to the kind of as I was just describing. Was in the middle between old champ results and new champ results. So kind of in the middle there. With what was interesting is that top 10% tier shard came in at 5.1 million, and that was quite high, even for the month where we had Valor included in the 4-star feature arena. And then when we jump over to the Civil Warrior, he came in just as expected as a low tier, even a little bit lower than what we typically see for a low interest champion, coming in at 1.84 million with the limited 25% at 1.5 million. And maybe this 1.84, maybe people were busy around the New Year period, so didn't have enough time to grind. Let's hope so, as that means people got away and did some other things for a couple of days, which is just fine. And then we look at the 3-star Recollector Crystal, and you can see that came in right around where it's expected. The old champ around 764,000 with 11 to 25% at 689,000. Compared to my round 1 predictions, I came in at 11.5, basing off of what I saw from last year's similar Recollected Crystal. Again, it was called Memory Lane, and it acted like older champs back in 2016 compared to new champs. So kind of applied that back over here, and it wasn't too far off with this 11.5. It was again in the 13 million range, but unfortunately too low to be even within 10% to get that meh or that 5% rating kind of thing. But when we jump over to the 4-star basic with Civil Warrior, the prediction was 2.2 million, which is right around the standard low interest, but he came in at 1.84 million, which the good news is you got him, but you had to put a little extra grind time, and this just missed that 10%, so it's more kind of just meh and meh because it wasn't within 10% and above the actual cutoff. Now jumping over to the 3-star feature, you can see that the Recollected Crystal real close, so actually within 5% of the actual first round cutoff, but it was underneath. And because if you just played to the prediction, you wouldn't have got the champ. This is going to be meh, even though it was within 5% accuracy, which is definitely the range. I'm trying to get in, typically trying to get within 10. So if I can get in with 5, that's even better. But again, I like to be above, so it's only going to be a meh rating on that prediction. So thinking about round 2, what's interesting again, when it comes to the 4-star feature Recollector Crystal, there's nothing really like it. And even the first round cutoff results kind of indicate that because it was in between a new champ and an old champ. And so I just took a look at, the year in review, if you will, and cutoffs between the old, new, and again, this was in the middle. But old champs typically have a small increase between round 1 and round 2, whereas new champs either stay the same in the same ballpark or have a drop off, and sometimes significant drop off. When I took a look at last year's Memory Lane Crystal, it had a slight drop off between round 1 and round 2. And that's really all only data I had to go by when thinking about my round 2 prediction. But when it comes to the other arenas, it's pretty clear there's some things I can look at. With the 4-star basic arena with low interest champs like with Drax, Gamora, and Punisher, Drax had a pretty decent drop. Gamora was pretty much the same, and Punisher had an increase. So it's kind of right around where they're at or slightly above kind of thing. But what is crystal clear is that 11% to 25% tier, there's been this steady increase and it's steadily going up. So I mean that with that 11 to 25%, we can see that steady increase. Now jumping over to the 3-star feature, and again, the results for the Recollector Crystal were very similar to old champ, so I could base this off of really recent old champ results. When we look at Loki and Captain America between round 1 and round 2, the actual cutoff for the champ was pretty similar with a slight increase, whereas that 11 to 25% tier, now there seems to be the steady around 650, 640, 640,000, 650,000 kind of cutoff for that 11% tier. So taking all this information into account, here are my thoughts for the round 2 predictions. I think we're going to see that slight increase, or basically around the same area, around 13 million to 14 million for the cutoff for the 4-star feature Recollected Crystal. I'm going to keep looking at past results. It looks like that 10% tier typically goes around around the same area. So I'm going to say 5.2 million for that. And for the 11% shard tier, if you want to go after that, you better target around 2.5, 2.6 million for the cutoff. Or I should say that's going to be where the cutoff's going to be. Now with the 4-star basic Civil Warrior, we saw with Drax and Gamora and Punisher, they were either, either slightly above, about the same, or slightly below kind of thing. So I think, 2 million is going to be a good number. I think you're going to have more people probably playing the game now that we're through the holiday period, coming back, people getting back, maybe playing the game a little bit more. So instead of that 1.8, we're going to see it around 2 million even. And then the 11 to 25% cutoff, there's always that increase from around round 1 to round 2. So I think it'll be around 1.6 million. And lastly, with the 3-star feature arena, I think, again, it's going to be kind of similar between round 1 and round 2 with that slight bump that we typically see for old 3-star feature champs. So I think 775,000 will basically be the ballpark for that 3-star feature recollected crystal cutoff. And then for the 11 to 25%, again, the data shows here recently that that's been going higher and higher. So I think we'll go with 695,000. I think these are the predictions for the veterans bracket for where I actually think the cutoffs will be. Now, in terms of grind target, where you probably want to go, if you really want to make sure you get Recollected Crystal, try to target for 15 million. You should be safe there. The top 10% for the 4-star feature arena, 5.4 million, with 2.6, 2.7 million for the 11% shard tier. Now for the top 10% to get the Civil Warrior and the 4-star basic, should be fine with going with a 2.2 million. Those don't really get much higher than that when there's not a ton of interest in these champs. And the 11 to 25%, 1.8 million. Jumping over to the 3-star feature Recollector Crystal, you should be able to get it for 790,000 and 11 to 25%. I should say, should not only get him, but feel pretty confident, feel pretty safe to get the crystal. I shouldn't say him, could be her as well, because who's, could get Medusa, but anyway, the 11 to 25% tier, you should be fine at 700,000. And again, this is a grind targets for the veteran bracket. When it comes to the beginners bracket and intermediate bracket, here are some general ranges to consider. These are very kind of anecdotal based information, not a lot of data behind them. Just can't find a lot of results. So if you are in the beginners or intermediate bracket, and I would love for you to come back and post your results in the comment section of this video, as actually one of the folks who watches these videos did it this last time and indicated he's in the beginners bracket, went after the 4-star feature Recollector Crystal, put in like 1.4, 1.5 million, and didn't get the ranked like just at the top 70, but didn't get to the top 50 kind of thing. So that's pretty clear to see. 1 million, you're not going to be safe, so you better go to about 1.6 million. The only reason I know that if there's the results based from what that other person shared. So we'd love to get more data from folks as they collect that information. Other than that, these are my thoughts for round 2 cutoffs for the Civil Warrior and Recollected Crystal. Would love to hear your thoughts. We can discuss them in the comment section. Throw them on down there. And if you have any questions, feel free to throw them down there as well. And if you like this video, we really appreciate a thumbs up. And if you like this and other videos I have on the channel, we'd really appreciate a subscribe. Other than that, thanks a lot for stopping by and have a great day.